This video will take you through paper 2 and explain how you can achieve the highest grades possible. Question 1 is split into 4 parts. Look out for the marks, as you should spend the same amount of minutes as marks on each question. 1A is worth 1 mark. So for 1A, they will ask you to identify one thing in the film, most likely a character, event, location or setting. For this answer, you should simply name it. For example, your answer should be Jess for character, the final football match or wedding for the event, Jess's bedroom for the location setting. Remember that whatever you choose in 1A determines the rest of your answers for 1B and C. 1B is worth 3 marks. For 1B, there are more marks up for grabs. Make sure you spend more time on this, a mark a minute. So if the question is, explain why this character, event or location is important, Jess is an important character because she is the main character who drives the narrative. Also through her we learn about the key themes of culture and following your dreams. 1C is worth 6 marks. In 1C, you will be asked to connect your character or event or setting to 2 micro-elements from a choice of 4. Your choices are normally cinematography, editing, mise-en-scene, sound, setting, costumes, lighting and colour, or body language. You need to PEE when you are answering this question. Your answer should look a little like this, but cover 2 bullet points. Point. Jess is a tomboy and feels happiest when she is in sports clothes rather than skirts, dresses or saris. Evidence. For example, it is clear that Jess feels uncomfortable in the beautiful saris when she has to serve her relatives at her sister's engagement party. Effect and explanation. She is at her happiest when she is in her sportswear playing football. Chada is trying to tell us that through her choice of costume, Jess is struggling with fitting into gender roles that her parents are setting out for her. 2A is worth 1 mark. 2A will be exactly the same as 1A, but will ask you to identify a different thing from the film. Most likely a character, event, location or setting. 2B is worth 3 marks. 2B will ask you to describe the thing you mentioned in 2A in more details. Try to use adjectives in this answer. An example answer could be, Jess's room is at the top of the house and is covered in posters of her idol David Beckham. There are posters placed on her ceiling which suggest that she looks up to him or that he is a god to her. 2C is worth 6 marks. 2C will ask you to connect the themes and issues dealt with in the film with the thing that you chose to talk about in 2A and 2B. The key themes the film deals with are culture, gender, racism, conflict, family and relationships, sexuality, aspirations and love. An example question would be, how does this key event highlight important issues or themes in your film? You should produce 2 PEEs for this answer. 1 PEE for each theme or issue you discuss from the list to get the full 6 marks. Here is an example of how you do it. An important event in the film is the final match and wedding cross-cutting scene. In this sequence, Jess scores a winning goal for the Hounslow Harriers and Pinky gets married to the love of her life. This scene connects well with the theme of religion and culture. It proves that Pinky is happiest within her culture, following the path that her parents have laid out for her, whilst Jess is happiest living within the Western culture, following her dream despite her parents' wishes. 2D is worth 10 marks. This question is worth a lot of marks, so you must get this right. This question will still ask you about themes and issues, but choose the alternative thing that you did not tackle in question 1 or question 2C. An example question would be: explore the relationship between locations and key themes or issues in your film. You will need to write about 3 different locations, events, or characters. You will choose this according to what the question asks for. For example, if they ask for locations, choose 3. For example, Hounslow Harriers, Jess's living room, or the local park. You need to PEE for each of your 3 locations, always explaining how the theme or issue is dealt with and what the message this sends to the spectator is. An example of just one of the PEEs could be: the Hounslow Harriers ground is an important location in exploring the theme of following your dreams against all odds. At the football ground, Jess is at her happiest. This is shown through the montage editing of Jess, Jules and Joe at training, having fun and laughing. This tells the audience that no matter what, Jess is and should follow her passion and be where she belongs. Question 3, the final question, is worth 20 marks. Question 3 is the biggest and most important. It will ask you to review the film or write a blog commenting on the elements of the film, or they could even ask you to write a newspaper article or a magazine feature about the film. Remember to use appropriate language for your audience. Here is an example of the question they could ask you. Write an online review of your chosen film for your school or college website to convince others to watch it. You may include some of the following: your view of the film, how the film has helped you understand different people and places, how this film compares with other films you have seen, the film's themes and issues, and how the film language is used in the film. For the full marks, try to produce a PEE for at least 4 of the bullet points. Here is a sample answer. You have a copy of this. It's A star and it's in your yellow folder. This online review is focusing on 2002 film Bend It Like Beckham, directed by Gurinder Chadha. The film is about 2 young women whose dream is to become professional footballers. However, many things stand in their way. The key themes explored in this film are culture, religion and gender. This film is made for our audience as it tackles many of the issues that we young people face every day. In my view, this film is excellent in all areas and deals with many different themes and issues relating to young people's lives. I think that the main characters, Jess and Jules, would be a fantastic role model for young women who are also trying to follow their dream. The film represents many people from different cultures and different age groups. For example, the Sikh community is represented in this film through Jess's family. The older generation are portrayed as strict with their children and unable to adapt to modern society. However, young Asian people like Tony and Jess are finding it hard to adapt in a Western world when they have to follow Eastern rules. The main setting for this film is West London. In fact, the film is based in many areas that we know well, around Hillingdon and Hounslow. This area is presented as multicultural and harmonious. It suggests that everyone, no matter what background they come from, is happy to live together. Now, I know that you have watched many different films, mostly Hollywood made. However, this film is far better. Hollywood sports films like Rocky or Goal or Warrior are all exaggerated in many ways. The narratives are too simple and the characters are not realistic. This means that the audience cannot identify with them. However, with characters like Jess and Jules, young women could aspire to be like them as they can see their own lives being lived out on screen. One of the best things about this film is the themes and issues that it deals with. It teaches us about religion and we learn all about the Sikh culture, the traditions, and even get a chance to see the wedding take place with all the colours and music. It does, however, deal with the problems religion can cause for the younger generation, as it sets out rules that they may not be able to follow. Most important of all, though, is that it tells us to follow our dreams no matter what. There is definitely a lesson for us all in this film, whether we are old, young, Indian or British, male or female. Finally, I would like to tell you all about the way that this film is made and how fantastic the use of camera, editing, sound and mise-en-scene, also known as media language, is. My favourite camera choice takes place during the final match, just as Jess is about to take the penalty. The shot chosen is an aerial shot that gives a full view of the pitch and everyone in it. It makes the scene seem so important to Jess and all the people supporting her. Additionally, the soundtrack is fabulous. The song that plays in the scene when Jess goes to London with Jules is upbeat and has a hidden meaning for the audience. The song is called My Independence and sums up perfectly how Jess has escaped her trapped world. Overall, I would give this film 10 out of 10. You will learn so much from it and never forget what you learnt. This definitely is a must-see British film that shows Hollywood how to do it.